I am Rose Mitchell, 26 years old, and I grew up in a Victorian duplex in the Richmond district of San Francisco, where fog rolled in every afternoon like clockwork and the sound of the Enjuta kept me awake at night. To outsiders, my family was picture-perfect tech success. My father, David Mitchell, was a VP at a biotech startup that went public. My mother, Jennifer, ran a boutique PR firm from our converted garage. But behind those restored bay windows, our home harbored secrets that would take years to surface. I used to lock myself in the bathroom, the only room with a working lock, counting the minutes until I turned 18. Even as a child, I knew something was wrong. My family weren't just cold. They were performers, and I was the only one who'd forgotten my lines. I still remember my 13th birthday clearly, sitting alone at our dining table while my parents attended a fundraiser, only to receive a text from my brother Jake. Mom says, "Happy birthday. Dad left money for pizza." The money was there, but the house felt haunted by something I couldn't name. They never asked about my nightmares. They only needed me to maintain appearances. Straight A's, violin recitals, volunteering at the food bank for college applications. The rest of their attention went to Jake, the golden child heading to Stanford, or their careers, or wine tastings in Napa I was never invited to join. I can't recall my father ever looking me directly in the eye, or my mother hugging me, without checking her phone over my shoulder. They always had excuses. Your father's in back-to-back meetings, or mom's launching a major campaign. Over time, I learned to navigate their indifference and stop expecting protection from those who should have provided it. The only person who ever made me feel safe was my childhood friend Emma Chen, who lived 3 houses down. She noticed things others missed. How I flinched when Jake entered a room, how I always sat with my back to the wall, how I recorded conversations on my phone for homework. She never pushed, just offered her presence like a life raft I wasn't ready to grab. But everything changed when I was 15. Jake was home from Stanford for winter break, my parents at another charity gala. I was in my room when he came in without knocking, closing the door behind him with that smile that made my skin crawl. "We need to talk about your stories," he said. That's what he called them, stories. The things I tried to tell my parents about his visits to my room late at night. The way he'd corner me when they weren't home. The photographs I'd found on his laptop of me sleeping. They dismissed every word. Jake would never. "You're being dramatic. Stop trying to get attention." But that night, something snapped. After he left my room, I ordered a hidden camera online using birthday money I'd saved. If they wouldn't believe my words, maybe they'd believe video. I installed it inside an old teddy bear on my bookshelf, angled perfectly toward my bed. For months, nothing happened. Jake was careful when he knew I was awake. But one night in March, when my parents were at a conference in Seattle, he made a mistake. He thought I'd taken the Ambien mom prescribed for my anxiety. I hadn't. I lay still as he entered my room at 2 a.m., speaking to me like I was unconscious, saying things that would haunt me forever. The camera caught everything. I transferred the file to 3 different cloud services, saved it on 2 USB drives, and waited. Part of me hoped I'd never need it. A bigger part knew I would. The explosion came 6 months later. Jake was home for summer, basking in praise for his internship at Google. Over dinner, as he described his coding project, I mentioned I was seeing a therapist. "For what?" my mother asked, more annoyed than concerned. "For the trauma of living in this house," I said quietly. Jake laughed. "There she goes again with her stories. Rose has always had an overactive imagination." "They're not stories," I said, louder this time. "I have proof." The table went silent. "Proof of what?" my father asked, his voice dangerous. "Proof that Jake has been coming into my room at night for years. Proof that you've been protecting a predator because facing the truth would ruin your perfect image." Jake's face drained of color. "She's lying. She's always been jealous of me." "Am I?" I pulled out my phone, found the file. "Should I play it for everyone? Or should we skip to the part where you describe what you want to do to me while you think I'm unconscious?" My mother gasped. My father grabbed for my phone, but I jerked it away. "I have copies," I said. "Cloud storage, USB drives, and one in a safety deposit box Emma's mom helped me open. Touch me and I send it to the police." Jake stood up, so fast his chair fell backward. "You little bitch. You set me up." "No," I said, steady despite my shaking hands. "You set yourself up. I just documented it." What followed was uglier than I'd imagined. My parents didn't call the police. That would have been too public. Instead, they tried to contain it. Therapy for Jake, they said. A misunderstanding, they said. But I was done being silenced. I moved out that night, staying with Emma's family while my parents threatened everything from disinheritance to involuntary commitment. "You're destroying this family," my mother screamed over the phone.
No, i replia.
Jake destroyed it. You just helped him hide the pieces. I gave them 1 week to get Jake professional help and ensure he never contacted me again. If they refused, I'd go public. The security footage would be evidence in a criminal case, not a family secret. They chose their image over justice, sending Jake to a wellness retreat in Switzerland that was really a psychiatric facility for wealthy predators. The official story was stress from his demanding job. Only Emma and her family knew the truth. My parents cut me off completely. No college fund, no health insurance, no acknowledgement I existed. I worked 3 jobs to pay for community college, lived in a studio apartment with bars on the windows, and went to therapy twice a week. Some nights, I'd wake up thinking I heard footsteps, forgetting I'd finally locked him out of my life. Emma remained my anchor through it all. She'd show up with takeout when I couldn't afford groceries, sat with me through panic attacks, reminded me that surviving wasn't betrayal, even when it felt like I'd detonated a bomb in my own life. 2 years later, I got a call from an unknown number. A girl named Madison, Jake's girlfriend at Stanford. She'd found my number in his old phone, along with dozens of photos and videos of other girls. She was building a case. There were 12 of us in total. 12 girls across 3 universities, all with similar stories, all previously silenced by shame or threats or disbelief. But together, we were undeniable. The trial made headlines. Stanford Golden Boy exposed as serial predator. My parents hired the best lawyers money could buy, but video evidence is hard to dispute. Jake got 7 years. My parents got a reputation they couldn't PR their way out of. At the sentencing, my mother approached me outside the courthouse. "Are you happy now?" she hissed. "You've ruined everything." "No," I said, surrounded by 11 other survivors who'd become my chosen family. "I saved myself. And them. That's all that matters. I am Rose Mitchell." They called me a liar until the camera proved otherwise. Now I counsel other survivors, helping them document abuse, find resources, escape families who choose comfort over children's safety. My parents still live in that Victorian, but the fog that rolls in each afternoon seems heavier now, weighted with truths they tried to bury. Jake will be out in 4 years with good behavior. But I'm not afraid anymore. I have my truth, my voice, and a camera that never lies. Sometimes saving yourself means burning down the house you grew up in. And sometimes that's the only way to let the light in.